guilty, but I'm still wasting my time just getting by as I'm drowning slowly. I scream into nothing just to feel something. Is anyone listening? The more that I feed it, the deeper I sink it. Is anyone listening? Locked up, I'm a prisoner of my mind, and I'm falling apart, pretending, believing that I know I'm not insane. Running in the direction, there's no way out, and it kills me slowly. I scream into nothing just to feel something. Is anyone listening? The more that I feed it, the deeper I sink it. Listen for the echo, that's the sign to let go. The echo, I scream into nothing just to feel something. Is anyone listening? I scream into nothing just to feel something. Is anyone listening? The more that I feed it, the deeper I sink it. So listen for the echo, that's the sign to let go. The echo, listen for the echo, that's the sign to let go. The echo,
Your tribal chief ain't feeling all that well today, man. SmackDown. Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad of a show. I think WWE did what they needed to do to get us into Payback, which on paper doesn't look like the most exciting show. But SmackDown wasn't bad. A couple of highlights from the night we'll talk about. John Cena John Cena's back for at least 2 months, which people are already starting to fantasy book John Cena on Friday Night SmackDown. And one Cody Rhodes has been named in the rumors. We're going to talk about The Miz. Believe it or not, The Miz had one of the best segments on Friday night with LA Knight. And out of everything that's happening on the show tonight, I'm more excited about Miz and LA Knight than anything else on the show. Who would have thought it, man? And we're going to talk Jimmy Uso and the storyline with the Bloodline that just keeps going around in circles, man. Nobody knows what is going on. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in forever, I got a hot beverage. The signature OTS with the old logo. Coffee mug available on Bonfire. Hot beverage tonight. Don't let that deter you from having a cold beverage. I hope you all have cold beverages. We're going to the beer garden for one of the very last times this season. And I got one question for you guys before we get the hell out of here. What the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your SmackDown post show for September 1st, 2023. I am your very sick host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Saturday afternoons, wherever you may be, man. It's fucking a beautiful day in New York City, man. I got a fucking hoodie on. One moment I go from being fucking freezing to absolutely sweating my balls off, back to freezing, and then sweating all over again. So I'm just trying to beat this thing the best that I can, man. Obviously, I got sick coming back from the United Kingdom, and last night I apologize for not showing up for you guys. Excuse me. If I do a sniffle or a cough or a clearing of the throat, I apologize in advance. Really can't help it right now. Last night was, I feel like, the worst of what I went through, man. I physically could not do it. I had the stream set up for about 10:30, which I usually do on a Friday night. And I tend to watch a little bit of Rampage And last night was the Battle Royal to see who wrestles MJF and Adam Cole at the pay-per-view on Sunday night. And as we got closer to 10:30, man, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I put the Braves game on, made myself a Theraflu, and I fell asleep probably in the third inning. So, was never going to happen last night, and I apologize to you guys in advance. I genuinely don't even know how I'm here this afternoon, because an hour before the show, all I wanted to do was close my eyes and sleep. Don't know how I'm going to do it tonight, and then tomorrow with the All Out show, which is on paper, man. Both of these shows this weekend are absolutely just mid. Two mid shows, honestly. There really isn't anything exciting coming off of this show tonight. And there's a couple of things tomorrow night for All Out. I mean, I'm looking forward to Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita. No doubt about it. Going to be a fucking fantastic match. Looking forward to Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy. It's crazy. They are in the main event tomorrow night. Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy in the main event. And it's going to be a banger. I'm very much looking forward to that. And it's funny how every time CM Punk fucks up somewhere along the way, Tony Khan goes back to his tried and true and relies on the one guy that's been there for him every step of the way. And that is Jon Moxley. So keep that in mind. When you ask why Jon Moxley is in the main event of All Out, where CM Punk was planned to be in the main event against Ricky Starks for the Real World Championship, you now know why. But we're going to try and do our best, man, to get through this show. And oh my goodness, man, you guys are making me... I'm putting music on. You guys are trying to make me feel better, man, right? Oh, my goodness. Jason Barker with a string of $100 bombs that cannot be matched. Jason Barker with a $100 super chat. What's up, man? I hope you are feeling better. I am not, brother. I am not feeling better. Giving you some money for the hot beverages to soothe your throat. OTS for life. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Maybe I should make myself one of these hot toddies that everybody keeps telling me to make. Don't know how to make it, but I may look it up after the stream is over. We're going to try and do our best. Man, do I feel awful. We're going to try and do our best to get through this show tonight. And I want to start off with John Cena. The rumor with John Cena is that he's back for the next 2 months. And John Cena will be back with WWE at least until Survivor Series. At least. Now, this is obviously due to the writer's strike, the Actors Guild strike in Hollywood. And he's got nothing else better to do, so why not come back home and do WWE? So WWE reworked his contract. John Cena's back on television, working off of the SmackDown brand, and he's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Nobody knows how and when, but he will be involved. Now, the thing with John Cena is everybody's trying to get a match with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Everybody wants to see John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and if he asks Cody Rhodes, the one match that he wants out of any match right now, obviously besides winning the World Championship, would be against John Cena. And John Cena knows that his last match is coming very soon. We don't know when or where that will be. But right now, John Cena and Cody Rhodes is the rumor for WWE as we get on into the fall months for WWE programming. And they're going to need something, especially with football and college football and everything else that's going on. They're going to need to generate some interest because this Bloodline storyline is not doing much of anything. This Bloodline storyline ain't doing much of anything. And after last night, I genuinely don't know where it's going to end up. I don't. Jimmy Uso showed up to confront John Cena last night, and a lot of people were kind of confused by what they did last night with Jimmy and John Cena. John Cena looks great. Hershey, Pennsylvania was loud as could be for John Cena. It's always great to see him back. Whether you like him or not, he's a GOAT. And Jimmy Uso basically told John Cena that, what are you doing here, Us? What are you doing back? You're just as bad as Roman. You're just like Roman Reigns. The only difference between you and Roman is that you do it with a smile. Everything you guys do, you do for yourself. The difference between you two, you do it with a smile. Now, John Cena came back and basically buried him with one shot and told him, I waited for 3 years to tell you what I have to tell you now, which I don't know if it makes any sense. He waited 3 years to tell him something that happened legitimately 3 weeks ago. Didn't really make sense. I waited 3 years to tell you what I have to tell you, and that is the wrong Uso quit. He feels like the wrong Uso quit. So Jimmy then went for a super kick, and John Cena caught it, gave him an attitude adjustment, and that was basically the end of the segment. Jimmy Uso apparently had a run-in with Michin in the back, and they got into a problem with Adam Pearce. AJ Styles and the rest of the OC took wind of this, or caught wind of this. AJ wanted to stick up for Michin, and basically Solo interjected himself into all of this problem with Jimmy and AJ Styles and the OC, basically sideswiping AJ Styles and getting in Jimmy Uso's face. We'll talk about what was exchanged between them a little bit later. Jimmy Uso left the building, and Solo Sikoa was in a one-on-one match with AJ Styles. We get to the main event, and AJ Styles is about to finish off Solo Sikoa with a phenomenal forearm, and Jimmy Uso makes his presence known and knocks AJ off the top rope and helps Solo win over AJ Styles. Basically, it seemed like Jimmy wanted back in the good graces of the Bloodline. Or the way I looked at it, because it really didn't make any sense head on. It feels like Jimmy may want to try and get in the good graces of his other brother, being that he lost Jey Uso. He's got another brother in Solo Sikoa that he could convince of the Bloodline and the wrongdoings in the Bloodline, because Jey wants nothing to do with him. But Jimmy looked like he wanted to be back in the good graces of the Bloodline. That's what a lot of people were saying on social media. It looks like Jimmy wants to be back in the Bloodline. Now, I don't know where this goes. I don't. To me, the one thing that really stuck out to me is how flat this storyline is feeling right now. And you could see an obvious difference in the show when Roman is there and when Roman is not there. WWE is trying to tell Jimmy's part of the story now, because most of the storyline is revolved around two men, and that is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Solo Sikoa has had more of a presence in the Bloodline than Jimmy Uso has. Solo Sikoa was given the savage-like treatment, the enforcer. He went undefeated for a long stretch of time. Jimmy Uso was always paired with Jey, but it was always Jey who was focused on more than Jimmy. I feel like this storyline is in limbo because, as you see right now, WWE is looking to get us into WrestleMania with Jimmy and Jey Uso. And that is the downside of WWE waiting to do something that they want to do in this storyline that late in the game. Then you get a lot of people losing interest. You get a lot of people going back on what they said. Should have ended at WrestleMania. Should have ended at Money in the Bank. In some circles, it did end at Money in the Bank. The storyline for them ended at Money in the Bank. Should have ended at SummerSlam. The WWE, with ratings in the back of their mind and interest when Roman is on television, and them being lazy and not wanting to write and put effort into anything else outside this Bloodline storyline, mixed with the fact that you want to give Jimmy and Jey Uso a match at WrestleMania, it's going to kind of stall at some point. It's going to feel less than it was or less than it should be. And that's where we are right now. Until Roman gets back to television, I don't know how WWE is going to keep the interest in this. Because I found myself last night watching the show. I just feel like WWE's turning their wheels. They're going round and round and round and round. And they're waiting for Roman to get back. And that's when the next piece of this storyline takes shape and we move forward. Then on the flip end, when Roman gets back, goes on his vacations, he stays away, right? First time he defended the title coming out of WrestleMania was at SummerSlam. Michael Cole last night claimed that Roman Reigns made 3 official years as Universal Champion. 3 years. It's easy to make 3 years when you defend your championship 3 times per year. It's getting a little ridiculous now, and you're really making it feel for the fan base like enough is enough already. Let's move on. Let's get this to where it needs to go. Let's end it, and let's try something new. That's just the way I sense everybody's feeling about this, because it doesn't feel the same as it did going into WrestleMania and then coming out of WrestleMania. And I stand on what I said then. Everything that Roman and the Bloodline did coming out of WrestleMania could have been done without Roman Reigns holding the Universal Championship or both World Championships. Absolutely everything could have been done the same exact way. There isn't one moment that couldn't play out the same exact way if Roman didn't have those championships. Just the way it is. But what are we doing with Jimmy? Is Jimmy wanting back in the Bloodline? Is he trying to persuade Solo, his other brother, to realize what Roman is really up to? Because Jey doesn't want to listen. He won't listen. He's got his other brother to maybe convince. He wants to take everything away from Roman because he feels Roman took everything away from him. Does Jimmy want the championship? Does Roman come back and since Jimmy wants to be the guy and gives Jimmy a shot at the championship? I don't know who would be interested in that. I know I'm not. I wasn't really all that interested in the Jey and Roman match going into SummerSlam. Does Roman come back and see that Jimmy's trying to manipulate the Bloodline? Does he give him a shot at the championship? You want to be the tribal chief so badly. Let's see what you're made of. When and where that happens, I don't know. Do we get Roman, Jimmy, and Jey in a triple threat match? I thought about that as well. I was thinking that maybe we do a fatal four-way with all 4 of the Bloodline in a fatal four-way match at Survivor Series. I predicted that a few weeks ago. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case anymore. But right now, nobody knows where this storyline is going. And after SmackDown last night, there's a lot of question marks going into the Bloodline story. Now, that could make also, on the flip side, it could also make for intriguing television because you don't know where it's going to go. But I don't necessarily think WWE knows where it wants to go. And I find it to be very difficult to sit here and not trust Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns and all the Bloodline, Paul Levesque. Vince McMahon, you know, has got a part in this. I don't know how much say he has. If he wants something to happen, they're going to appease the old man. But I find it very difficult to sit here and not trust Paul Heyman at the end of all this. But right now, with what we're watching, I don't get the sense of WWE knowing where they want to go. We're in a standstill because the rumor came out not too long ago that WWE wants to do Jimmy and Jey at WrestleMania. And that's what they're waiting for. I don't know. The whole John Cena thing, where does John Cena fit in? John Cena, Cody Rhodes, that's the rumor. Last night we saw the team of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I actually quite like this team. I think this team's got a good makeup about it. I think they're 2 very similar characters, 2 young guys, 2 young studs who right now have been on the shit end of creative. Austin Theory, I don't know how you beat John Cena at WrestleMania, and then you go the opposite way of which you should go. Downward spiral Austin Theory took after WrestleMania. They did nothing with him in the United States Championship. Grayson Waller, you see where WWE has put Grayson Waller. They put him in there with Edge. They put him in there with a bunch of Grayson Waller effects, interviewing top stars like Charlotte, Bayley. This weekend, tonight at Payback, he's got Cody Rhodes, which will lead into what I think will happen with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Two studs. I quite like their work. Austin Theory's great. Whether you like him or not, or whether you think he's boring, Austin Theory's fucking great. Grayson Waller can be great. Grayson Waller's got a lot of that early Miz in him. Grayson Waller has been compared to Miz, MJF. Nobody really compares to MJF, but I'm just giving you some comparisons that have been said about Grayson Waller. And he should be one of the guys that WWE eventually leans on for the future. I thought what they did last night against LWO was really great. Very good tag team match. And they got the surprise victory over Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. Now, with Grayson Waller tonight on Payback, where he's got Cody Rhodes as his guest on the Grayson Waller effect, I do think something will transpire there because John Cena is going to be in the building. John Cena will be hosting Payback. John Cena will be hosting Payback. John Cena and Grayson Waller have had some bickerings online, or Grayson Waller has said some nasty things about John Cena online. He's made fun of him online. So I'm assuming whatever comes out of this Grayson Waller effect tonight is going to lead to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory against Cody Rhodes and John Cena. That's where more than likely it will end up. Now, that doesn't sound like a PLE main event or PLE match. I could see that taking place on a random Friday night. I'm also going to question, well, why is Cody Rhodes working SmackDown when he's clearly a Monday Night Raw star? How are we going to differentiate the two brands there and make it make sense as to why he's over there? Just going to throw that one in there before anybody starts to get ahead of themselves. Cody is a Raw star. So if he starts teaming with John Cena, who's SmackDown now, and starts working SmackDown with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, who are on SmackDown, we're going to need to make some sense of that. Or you could be like everybody else that doesn't give a shit and wants to sweep it under the rug. But I got to call it out. I'm assuming that will take place at some point. But everybody wants to see Cody Rhodes and John Cena. I mean, it's something that has intrigued me, myself. I think it could be a very good match for both guys. But what I don't want to have happen, and this is all I will say because we don't really know if that's the plan for Cody and John Cena. I'd love to see John Cena turn heel. I don't know about you guys. I'd love to see John Cena turn heel. I mean, what does he got to lose? He's this late in his career. He's this late in the game. What difference does it make? Now, would it make sense? I don't know. I can't see them wanting to do that because they shilled him in the United Kingdom to go out there and ask the fans at Money in the Bank if they would like a WrestleMania in the United Kingdom. Everybody thought John Cena was some sort of hero coming out there asking that question. Yeah, we want a WrestleMania. I'd love to see John Cena turn heel and work heel against Cody, but I don't see that being a realistic possibility. What I don't want them to do, because I don't want to get sick while watching this shit play out, which could lend to people not wanting to see the match because they know how nauseating it would be. I don't want this to get the Vince treatment. I don't want this to be the guy that led his generation against the guy who WWE sees leading this generation, this goody two-shoes baby face of the ruthless aggression era against Cody Rhodes, who's the baby face of this new generation clashing. And it's like a passing of the torch moment, and Cody is put over by John Cena, and he gets the torch passed to him, and he gets Cena's, I would say, his whole like assurance like he's going to be the guy to beat Roman Reigns. I don't care for that. I don't care for that at all. I mean, that's the last thing I want to see. I do not want to see some Vince McMahon fucking typical 7-year-old written storyline where you got John Cena and Cody Rhodes, babyface and babyface, and we get this nauseating way that Cody is put over by John Cena, and John Cena gives him the assurance, you're the guy to beat Roman Reigns. I don't want that. I want WWE to book me an adult-like storyline where Cody has to go through adversity that makes sense. Whatever that is, I don't know. I don't know what that is. What I do know what that is in the form of Randy Orton. Something like that would get me interested. John Cena, not so much. Because I know where WWE is going to go and do that. They're going to muddy it up in their typical WWE can't book a babyface bullshit. I'd love to see Cody go through adversity and continue to go through adversity with obstacles of his past get thrown in his way. That being Randy Orton. Don't know when Randy Orton's set to come back. I know he's due to come back sometime between now and January. When that happens, I don't know. But I would much rather see Cody and Randy instead of Cody and John Cena. But you could probably anticipate John Cena and Cody Rhodes teaming up after tonight against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory at some point on SmackDown. And that's right now the extent of where we're going with that. But we're going to try and get into the rest of this show. There was something that happened in the tag team match with LWO against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory that I want you guys to pay very close attention to. Charlotte Flair looks to be eyeing the championship on EO. I don't know who wants Charlotte to beat EO, but here we are. And Miz, LA Knight. I'm more interested in that match than I would say anything else on the show tonight. Maybe the tag team title match with Damian Priest and Finn Balor against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. But LA Knight and Miz, man, they sold me. And they've done a fantastic job of building this storyline going into Payback, man. So good on them, because I didn't think that it was going to be all that interesting. And it's been pretty damn fucking good, man. I appreciate you guys being here, man. We got 1,400 on a Saturday afternoon. I would love if you guys hit that thumbs up. I'm sitting here sweating my ass off, sick as a dog. Can we get some thumbs up in the chat, man? I would like 1,000 likes minimum. Please. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the content, man. We covered the CM Punk stuff extensively. Punk, Jack Perry, Tony Khan, All In, All Out. You name it. It's all on the homepage. Go check that shit out. Make sure you guys get your super chats in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. As always, get those memberships in if you guys want to sit VIP right here in the beer garden. You know what to do, man. Hit that join button. Make sure you follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. I'll be live tweeting during Payback tonight at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Make sure you guys go check me out on the socials. Best way to keep up to date on everything that's happening here. And tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Manscaped, manscaped.com. You guys are going to use that code SCRIPT20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com. Being that we just talked about John Cena, I won't bore you with what John Cena said because it was just basically him and Jimmy Uso. It didn't really play into anything long term. John Cena will be at Payback tonight. He will be hosting the show. And the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes is definitely going to play a factor in what John Cena does next. So I think we know that for sure. So we'll get into what happened after John Cena. And that was Kayla Braxton welcoming Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. She asked them about John Cena. So right out of the gate, WWE wants you to know where they're going with this. She asked them about John Cena. Waller, in theory, thought and then laughed at the thought of John Cena. Theory mentioned that he beat John Cena at WrestleMania, which really doesn't amount to anything, being that he didn't really do much to follow up on beating John Cena at WrestleMania. Waller said all anyone can talk about is the Grayson-Waller effect with Cody Rhodes. Theory told Kayla if she's done fantasizing about John Cena, she's going to watch the greatest tag team of all time, meaning themselves. And they're going to beat Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. It's great. They're the greatest tag team of all time, said nobody ever. Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Rey Mysterio will be defending the United States Championship tonight against Austin Theory. Makes me wonder if there will be some miscommunication between Santos and Rey Mysterio. Because you know for a fact where this is going. It may be a slow burn like Jimmy and Jay. WWE may be taking their time with it. But after last night's tag team match, you could see where they're going with this. And you could see where Santos is eventually going to end up getting frustrated with Rey Mysterio. This was a very good tag team match. I really enjoyed this. I thought Austin Theory and Grayson Waller worked very well together. And like I said, they are just a good duo. Very similar in moveset, very similar in attitude, very similar in character. It's almost as if they were made to be on screen together. And I really dig it. Escobar and Waller started the match. Mysterio quickly tagged in. Theory ran into attack, but Theory and Waller ended up on the outside. Escobar then threw Mysterio over the top rope onto both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and we go to a commercial break. Waller was working over Mysterio, and he eventually did make a hot tag to Santos Escobar. Escobar came in, landed a crossbody on Waller for a 2 count. Escobar landed a Frankensteiner from the top rope for a 2 count. Theory and Mysterio both entered the ring, and things broke down between both teams. Theory went for a chop block on Mysterio, but Escobar pushed Mysterio out of the way and took it himself. Waller then ran in, hit his rolling stunner on Escobar for the 1, 2, 3. So Escobar throws himself into the line of fire and saves Rey Mysterio from getting pinned in this tag team match. Now, did he have to do that? No. That's just the respect that Santos Escobar has for Rey Mysterio. But the thing is, this is going to happen again and again and again. And before long, Santos Escobar is going to realize that Rey Mysterio, A, possibly doesn't appreciate Santos throwing himself into the line of fire to have Rey Mysterio's back every single time. Or B, Santos Escobar is just going to get fed up with playing second fiddle to Rey Mysterio. Like, that United States Championship should have been mine, and here I am helping you not take a fucking pinfall in a tag team match when I should be the fucking champion. It's not my fault I couldn't challenge for the championship. It was this fucking guy, Austin Theory, who took me out. So you see where this is going. This was just a seed planted for Austin Theory, or not Austin Theory, for Santos Escobar, and the growing tensions between Escobar and Rey Mysterio. Austin Theory's not winning that championship tonight. He's not. It's not going to come anywhere close to winning that championship. He's got John Cena and Cody Rhodes to be, to take care of, to be occupied with. But Santos and Rey Mysterio, you want to know what's the other WrestleMania match that WWE is long-term booking for? You're looking at it. Now, how do we get from September all the way to April in Philadelphia? It's going to be a little bit of a struggle. WWE wants to play these storylines out, and they feel like the longer they go, the more rich they'll be. The more people will be interested. Sometimes WWE starts these things way too early. Like Jimmy and Jay Uso started way too early. They could have did that. They could have did that right about now, October, November. They're doing the same thing with Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. But you start to see the seeds planted. Jimmy and Jay is what they're planning for. Santos and Rey Mysterio is what they're planning for as well. And at that point, I hope Santos goes heel because, I'm very much looking forward to that. I think that's going to be the transformation of Santos Escobar on the main roster. And him getting that torch passed to him by Rey Mysterio, it's going to be great. A heel turn for Santos Escobar is something I'm looking forward to. Adam Pearce, he was shown talking to Michin backstage. Jimmy Uso interrupted them. Pearce told Jimmy to go away, and Jimmy reluctantly went away. He didn't want to, but he went away. So we go back to the ring, and Bobby Lashley is making his entrance, and Michin, we go to a commercial break. Bobby Lashley's on his way to the ring. We go to commercial break, and Michin is talking to the rest of the OC. They don't want to get involved in Bloodline business. AJ Styles walks in. He overheard what Michin was talking about and the fact that Jimmy Uso was disrespecting her. AJ Styles took it upon himself. No. This is a big deal. They think they can run the show. They forgot that this is the show that AJ Styles built. So he wanted to go take care of Jimmy Uso in defense of Michin. Fine. With Roman Reigns out, we're going to need some former top guys to take that spot. Who knows when Roman's going to get back? Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. This was actually a very good segment. Bobby Lashley's mic skills are a little rough around the edges. He's not terrible, but they could be better. That's all I'm saying. So, Lashley's in the ring. Crowd is big time into Bobby Lashley. He's looking sharp as ever. He's got a beautiful suit on. Lashley said the crowd knows how to make someone feel really good. Lashley said everywhere he goes, everyone is asking him the same question. He said everyone wants to know what's going on with him and the Street Profits. Lashley said it's because real recognizes real and great recognizes great. He said that's why he recognized the Street Profits. So they make their way down to the ring. And they still got the Solo Cups coming down on the entrance ramp. And Montez still has the Solo Cup. Street Profits are wearing really dapper-looking suits. They made their way to the ring. Profits slapped hands with fans. They're very much over. So they're basically the same Street Profits that we have come to know and love. But they look a little bit more professional. It's basically what it is right now, for now. Lashley smiled, says everyone knows the Profits. Lashley called them charismatic and athletic. Lashley said they're more aggressive than they've ever been, and they have been. You see some of their in-ring work has been a little bit more aggressive as of late. Montez says, tonight is not about them. It's about Bobby Lashley. Angelo Dawkins said Lashley has helped them see the bigger picture. Dawkins says they stepped away from what was to what is. Montez repeated that line over and over and over again in a very cringy, goofy-like manner. So have they really changed for the better completely? No. Ford told Lashley it isn't personal. It's just profits. I like that. You want a new catchphrase? There you go. Listen, man, it ain't personal. It's just profits. Ford says they can go on and on and on about how great Bobby Lashley is, but they have two words. The Profits thank Lashley. Lashley says they can thank him with continued success. Lashley says that this trio is putting everyone on notice, and they're coming for power, control, and championship gold. Lashley says they're coming for it all. He then dropped the mic and exited the ring. As they're walking up the ramp, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens make their way down to the ring for their match against Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. And this new, I'll call them the Hurt Business, this new Hurt Business, stopped them in the aisleway. They didn't do anything to them, and they let them walk. They let them move on. So right there, another tease about a potential tag team match for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But we're not there yet. Street Profits are still a little bit too much like the old Street Profits. I'm going to need them to go through the full transformation first. Right now, I think this is, angels in fucking devil's disguise here. This right here with this new Street Profits, everybody thinks they're going to be a babyface trio. No, they're going to go and do what they need to do to be successful, and the fans are not going to really appreciate that because they're obviously going to have to target their fan favorites. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens being those fan favorites. Profits right now are a little bit still too goofy. They got the red solo cups and the solo cups coming down from the fucking entrance ramp. They still sound very over-enthused at times, which doesn't really translate to being serious. They're going to need a full transformation first before we start talking about them potentially taking the tag team championships from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I'm going to need to see a full heel turn. I'm going to need to see some ruthless aggression. I'm going to need to see Bobby Lashley get in there and start doing what he used to do, and that is dominate. Right now, it looks great. Right now, there's a ton of potential. But right now, there are more questions than answers. Are they going to add anybody else? I know they've been mingling on NXT as well. The Profits went down to NXT this past week. I believe they were mingling with Carmelo Hayes. Are they leaving the door open for Carmelo Hayes to join this group? The way that Carmelo dresses and the way that Carmelo acts, it seems like a shoe-in for Carmelo to join Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, which I think I called it, along with some other people called that as well. But that was when the Hurt Business was the old Hurt Business, still with Cedric and Shelton. We don't have a name for this group. Right now, it's still in the beginning stages, so you can't really say, oh yeah, they got to win the tag team titles. No. Certain steps need to be met before we get to that part of their story. So I'm liking what I see. I'm liking what I hear. Certain things need to happen first before we get to the next section, the next chapter of this new Hurt Business. But I'm excited about where it's going. I think the makeup of the trio looks really, really good. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they walked out and they had a match with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. This did not go long at all, and this went 3 minutes. I don't know why this was even a match, why this was even a thing, if it was only going to go 3 minutes. Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde are so much better than that to be fed to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The LWO is one of the more popular acts in WWE, and they got treated like jobbers. So 3 minutes, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens win. Not really much to it at all. Basic squash match. Zayn and Wilde began the match. Zayn took control really early. Eventually, Wilde landed an elbow. Zayn came back with a clothesline. Owens tagged in, hit a swanton for a 2. Cruz del Toro tagged back in, took out Zayn while kicking Owens in the head. Ultimately, this came to an end very quickly. Pop-up powerbomb from Owens. Zayn tagged in, hit the haluva kick on Del Toro. Owens tagged back in, hit a stunner for the 1-2-3. Squash. I don't know why, but a squash on Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. After the match, Zayn took a microphone and said at Payback, Judgment Day will need to bring everything they have because it will be the fight of their lives. Backstage, Jimmy was looking to leave at this point, and he was cut off by AJ Styles, who said Uso disrespected Michin. So while Sammy finished his promo, we go right to the back, and Jimmy was confronted by AJ. Solo Sikoa showed up, pushed AJ Styles away. Jimmy told Solo that no one can tell him anything and left the building. So there's a lot going on here. So Payback, we got this Steel City street fight between Damian Priest and Finn Balor against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It should be what takes the story with the Judgment Day into the next chapter. I don't know if Damian Priest is going to be booted from the group. I don't know if Damian Priest is going to attempt to cash in and Balor's going to fuck his cash in up. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but the going rumor is Damian Priest is about to get kicked out of the Judgment Day and be replaced with JD McDonough. So I'm looking forward to that match just based on the storyline implications itself. But other than that, I don't really find any interest in what's going on with this PLE tonight. And I'm not really sold on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' title reign. I just feel like WWE is just, again, turning their wheels with the tag team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They don't really have solid plans for them in the short term. What I do think is going to happen is that we're going to end up getting a War Games match. Now, WWE hasn't really announced War Games yet, but I do think that will end up being War Games with Bloodline. I guess Damian Priest would have to be in the War Games match if that is the case. Maybe he doesn't get kicked out yet, but that's where it's certainly leading. We get Damian Priest, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. They've been battling the Judgment Day, Seth Rollins, maybe Cody Rhodes. So we'll see what happens there. But WWE hasn't announced War Games yet. And if there is a War Games match and there is going to be a removal of Damian Priest from the Judgment Day, certainly looks like that may be the destination for it. So we will see what happens there. AJ Styles was interviewed backstage, and he said the Bloodline thinks they run everything, and then he wants to knock Solo Sikoa's teeth down his throat. The rest of the OC showed up and said Styles doesn't need to get involved in that drama. Styles said no. The Bloodline thinks that they run this shit, and they need to be reminded that this was the house that AJ Styles built. Like I said, with Roman out, you're going to need other top guys to take those spots, and AJ is certainly a top guy to take that spot. Miz and LA Knight. This was my favorite part of the entire show last night. This was great. This was probably the best Miz promo all year. And in some circles, some people were saying that Miz schooled LA Knight. I don't know if he schooled him, but Miz is definitely someone on the microphone that will battle you until the very end. Made his entrance. I enjoyed Miz's impression of LA Knight on Raw, by the way. I know I didn't cover Raw because I was still in London. I did watch Raw back, and I did enjoy the LA Knight cosplay from The Miz, and I thought it was very good. Miz was in the ring. Said that tonight at Payback, Knight will have the biggest match of his career. So obviously the crowd is very pro LA Knight. Miz says it isn't an insult. It's a fact. Miz said everyone saw how easy it was for him to be LA Knight on Raw this past week. Miz said that LA Knight isn't on his level and isn't half the star he was 10 years ago. So LA Knight, Hershey, Pennsylvania, popped big for LA Knight. Made his way out. LA Knight entered the ring, and he was doing his thing. Knight and Miz stood face to face each other. He asked if he could talk to the crowd. "Let me talk to you," he said. Knight said Miz is here for another of his cosplay dress-ups. Knight said Miz has done The Rock, John Cena, and now LA Knight. Knight said all three of them are people that The Miz wants to be, but can't. Knight said that he brought himself out of the sewer to get into the ring. Knight said he lived in roach-infested apartments, walked the streets, cashed his checks at the loan place, payday loan place, and he is still here. He said that Miz couldn't last a day in LA Knight's shoes. LA Knight said Miz came in after a reality show and rode his way to the top. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true because you heard from the Miz himself how Miz got to WWE. And in that locker room, when he first started with the WWE, they were so against guys like him coming in that guys like JBL and some other veterans of the locker room, they kicked him out of the locker room and had him changing the broom closet. So it wasn't all sunflowers and rainbows for the Miz either. Miz had a very tough time in his early days as well, as documented by Mike Mizanin. So, Knight said Miz came in after a reality show and rode to the top. Knight said he had to work for it. Knight said Miz isn't on his level. Miz then comes back and says that LA Knight was on a reality show, but no one knows because he was the first one eliminated. Miz ran down his accomplishments and said he succeeds because he is a star. LA Knight said the Miz took advantage of everything he was given. And if I was put in the same position, I would have as well, he says. Knight said that Miz wasn't even the star of his own reality show because that belongs to his wife. Knight says he wants Miz to send his wife Knight's regards. He said she'll be empty inside after LA Knight sends Miz home battered and broken. LA Knight said that she can call him to come fix it. So basically, he's saying that he wants to give Maurice the Kavorka, is what he's saying. Everybody wants a piece of LA Knight's Kavorka. So, Miz said people, they all love LA Knight and they relate to him because the rest of these people are failures. Miz said that LA Knight is different. He said that Knight has had his hopes and dreams crushed, but he never gave up. Miz said that Knight has a chance to succeed, but unfortunately he has to face the Miz. Miz says that he's a human time traveler. He said LA Knight is going to lose and go back to cutting promos in front of his mirror like it was 2003. LA Knight said he'll never give up. He said that Miz is living in the past. Knight said that Miz's present is trash and his future is going to be worse because Knight is going to beat him. So he goes on to say that, and his future is going to be worse because Knight's going to beat him. Knight started to chant with the crowd, and that's because with everybody saying LA Knight, at that point Miz attacked him. Miz took out Knight with a skull-crushing finale, and Miz said that is going to be LA Knight's future. Miz walked up the ramp. Knight ran after Miz, took him down. Knight mounted Miz, punched away before officials ripped them apart from each other. This was an awesome segment. This was an awesome segment, and I will be the first to tell you that when this feud first started, I didn't give it a shot in fucking dark to succeed or generate any interest at all. I know there was a lot of people down on WWE for putting LA Knight in this position and giving LA Knight the Miz, and they felt like putting him in a feud with the Miz was WWE's way of kind of giving him something to do, but also at the same time hold him back. Now, I don't know what it necessarily means after this. I don't. I would assume that LA Knight beats the Miz tonight and he moves on to what he's got to do next. But you got to understand that WWE, they understand that LA Knight is over. They have to. They understand that LA Knight, for all of the month of August, was WWE's highest merchandise seller. Shit like that, I refuse to believe, goes unnoticed. Now, yes, Vince McMahon and people of his administration, they don't like when you get over when you're not supposed to. They don't like when the fans want to rally behind somebody and that somebody gets over without the backing of the company. Because it's basically the fans and said superstar telling WWE that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Listen to the fans. And WWE is going to do everything in their power to go against what they're being told. I want to believe after this that LA Knight's going to be on his way. I want to. Because if you're in a feud with The Miz, it may look bad. But he's held his own. He's done well. Should be a decent match. The promo work has been outstanding. And I've always said that guys like The Miz are gatekeepers. Not necessarily like a Brock Lesnar or a John Cena. but he's got so much seniority there. And he's got so much longevity there that he's one of the guys that WWE trusts with a lot of shit. And that's why he's in this feud with LA Knight. And I'm not saying this to be a WWE shill, or I'm not saying this to, go against anybody that's pushing the LA Knight is being buried narrative. But this is the way that it is. WWE wants to know that LA Knight can fucking swim with someone that they trust wholeheartedly. And that is Mike Mizanin. The fact that he is, I think WWE very well knows that LA Knight is the real deal. Now, if he wins tonight, which I'm assuming he will, he'll be on his way. What they got planned for him next, I don't know. But I've quite enjoyed what they've done with LA Knight going to Raw, Miz coming to SmackDown. I mean, it doesn't really make sense why guys are floating between shows and they're not a part of that show. Different question for a different day. But I've quite enjoyed what they've done. And they sold me on a LA Knight and Miz feud when we all thought LA Knight was going to get fucking buried. WWE's got no plans for this guy. They're feuding him with the fucking Miz. I think everybody's kind of eating their words. They've done, out of everything that's been built on Payback, this has probably been the best thing built on the entire pay-per-view. Simple. The announce team. They talked about Damage Control's attack on Bianca Belair, writing her off TV. Bianca Belair is taking some time away from the ring. She's not really injured. She's just been given vacation time off. So they made their way to the ring, and Bayley went one-on-one with Shotzi Blackheart. This got more time than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Don't know why, don't know how, but for all those people that are keeping tabs on how many minutes the women get, here you go, 9 minutes. I don't know who's interested in this storyline. I don't. Shotzi shaved her hair. It was for her sister. And then WWE basically did nothing to follow it up. Nothing. This was very disappointing. Shotzi lunged at Bayley a few times to begin the match. Shotzi eventually took it to Bayley with some right hands. Bayley slapped Shotzi. Shotzi laughed. She's got this just psychotic demeanor about her that comes off more cringe than anything. Shotzi choked Bayley with her legs over the top rope. Bayley came back and started putting the boots to Shotzi. We got a commercial break as Bayley was being ragdolled by Shotzi before landing a front flip splash on Bayley before we get to a commercial break. So Bayley, from the commercial break, was slow playing the match. She worked a chin lock. Shotzi fought her way out. Bayley hit an elbow drop from the second rope, goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. Bayley went for another elbow drop. Shotzi countered. Bayley's on the outside. Shotzi hit a dive to the floor and rolled Bayley into the ring. Shotzi hit a face buster and landed a big elbow. Bayley draped Shotzi over the top turnbuckle, hit an elbow for a 2 count. Shotzi came back with a suplex into the turnbuckle and then followed up with a cannonball. She goes to the top rope. Bayley cut her off. Bayley tried to grab Io Sky's title, but all of a sudden, Charlotte Flair's music hits. Charlotte came down and gave Io a big boot that missed by a good 6 inches, and Io had to sell for the lazy Charlotte Flair. Go back and watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. Awful. Absolutely awful. And then you want to know why I shit on Charlotte Flair. Absolutely not even in the vicinity of Io Sky. Just embarrassing. So she booted Io. Charlotte hit Bayley as the referee was distracted. Shotzi followed that up with a strike and got the 1, 2, 3. I mean, and people thought that Shotzi was going to get a major push on WWE television because she cut her hair and is feuding with Bayley. I told you it was going nowhere. She got her revenge on... She beat Bayley. She beat Bayley. Now what? It's over. She got her win. She beat Bayley. Goodbye. What else do we have to care about? I don't. Now, next week, we got Io and Bayley versus Charlotte and Shotzi. Wow. Can't wait to not watch that match. Give me a break. Solo Sikoa made his entrance, and he is set in the main event with AJ Styles. This was easily the best match of the night, given AJ and what he can do and how good Solo is. So these two went at it pretty aggressively at the start. Styles came back and tried to body slam Solo, couldn't get him up. Solo slammed Styles down instead. Styles hit a big dropkick, and Paul Heyman made his way to distract Styles. Styles hit a phenomenal forearm on Sikoa, who was on the outside. We go to commercial break. We come back from break. Solo Sikoa had control, ran Styles into the ring post, which looked fucking nasty. I don't know, man. Those WWE LED ring posts, they look like they have a bunch of little edges on them. AJ went back first, and it made a sickening thud into the ring post. Nasty. Sikoa hit a belly-to-belly suplex in the ring for a 2. He then landed a high back body drop on AJ. Solo set up for the Samoan spike. Styles countered with a Pele kick. Styles drop kicked Solo's knee and lifted Sikoa. Sikoa countered with a huge Samoan drop for a very close near fall. Solo ran at Styles, but Styles moved out of the way, elbowed Solo Sikoa, landed a moonsault for a 2 count. Styles went for Styles Clash, but Solo placed Styles on the ring apron. Styles set up for a phenomenal forearm, and all of a sudden, Jimmy Uso appeared and hit Styles off the ropes. It looked like he didn't even touch AJ as well, just like Charlotte missed the big boot on Io. It looks like Jimmy swung in air to knock AJ off the top rope. Knocked him off anyway, and AJ falls down. Obviously, this leads to a Samoan spike, and that was basically it. 1, 2, 3 for Solo Sikoa. So Solo then threatened to spike Jimmy. Heyman said, no, 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 no. He called off the Samoan spike. Sikoa left the ring, and Jimmy super kicked AJ Styles. He then hit a big splash on Styles from the top and did the Bloodline gesture to Solo as the show came to an end. Now, are we getting Jimmy versus AJ? I would assume so. They're not going to leave that untouched. Is Jimmy wanting back in the Bloodline? That's another question. Is he trying to convince Solo that Roman is up to no good because he can't convince Jimmy? But like I said earlier, it looks like we're getting the Jimmy Uso saga with Jay out. I don't know who's going to be interested in the Jimmy Uso saga. I know I'm not. Or not as much as I was everything else Bloodline. But it looks like we may be getting the Jimmy Uso saga. And with Roman coming back, we may get Jimmy's part in this all played out. So if we do Jimmy versus AJ, and Jimmy goes on his solo run and is good enough for the eyes of Roman to get a championship match, maybe we get Jimmy versus Roman, and then Jay comes back and ruins Jimmy and his chances of winning the championship. I mean, I don't really know where else we're going with this. I tried long and hard to think about where we're going with this, and I just don't know. I feel like WWE is turning their wheels with this storyline, and all they got is Jimmy and Jay at WrestleMania in the back of their mind, and we are really slow burning this for the rest of the year going on into 2024. I hope they can do it. I really hope they can do it. Because that's a lot of time in between to sell me on something and still have it be that important by the time we get to WrestleMania. Anyway, guys, that is your SmackDown coverage tonight. I don't believe we made it through the show. Hopefully I didn't sound too terrible. But my throat is itchy. I got mucus coming out of my fucking eyes and my nose. and I feel like I got a cough every fucking 10 seconds. But I'll be back tonight for Payback. We'll do it again. I want to thank you guys for joining me, man. Get those super chats in. Really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for... We got 713 right now. I know you guys can give me another 200. Another 200 easy this afternoon. Memberships are open. Get them on in. Sit VIP with me right here on OTS. We had an incredible month of August. I would like to continue that into September, man. Tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Manscaped. Attention, fantasy football fanatics. As draft season approaches, don't neglect the most important draft pick of all, your balls. We all know how injuries can ruin a season. So let Manscaped take care of that Reggie Bush of yours with their advanced skin-safe technology. This should guarantee you to have a smooth ride into the playoffs. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have created a championship lineup with the Performance Package 4.0. And it's time for you guys to do the same. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com. 20% off when you use code SCRIPT20. And you're also going to get free shipping. Now, what's in the Performance Package 4.0, you ask? The Lawnmower 4.0. The Weed Whacker Ear and Nose Hair Trimmer. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. The Crop Reviver Toner. Performance Boxer Briefs. And a beautiful travel bag that I always take everywhere I go. Make sure you guys go and sign up. Get yourself a Performance Package 4.0. And make sure you guys use that code SCRIPT20 at checkout. 20% off and free shipping. It's time to put the PP back in PPR and get a grip on your pigskin this season with Manscaped. Let's get into these super chats, guys. Tan May. This fucking guy Tan May with 44 months in the goddamn venue, bro. This guy is 4 months away from the elusive Mustang emote. It's crazy. Says, what's up, OTS fam? Tan May, what's up, brother? Michelle Moran, $2 super chat. Sorry, but the Bloodline story needs to end now. Yeah, there's a lot of people right now that aren't really feeling it. It's kind of died off for sure. But that's what happens when Roman needs to go on his set vacations. That's what happens. Scripps with a 25 months. What's up, my tribal chief? 25 months in the venue. And it feels so good. Scripps, I wish I felt good, brother. I really did. I really do. Hopefully we feel good tonight for the Payback show, man. Tony Brown with a $4.99. Oh, well, at least there was some booty meat, JD. Tony Brown, listen, man, you got to just watch Rampage if you want your fill of booty meat, brother. SmackDown doesn't have it. Lauren with a $2 super chat. So glad Cena is back. Let's enjoy Cena while he is still here. He is a goat. He absolutely is. Sonny Singh with a $1.99. Hope you feel better, JD, because you are the man. Peace. Thank you, Sonny Singh. Appreciate you, brother. I hope I feel better, too. Mel's Matt Chat with 28 months. What's the end game for the storyline, for the Bloodline? Cody winning the championship. That's the end game. All of them coming together as one, as a united brotherhood against Roman, I'm assuming. Mel's Matt Chat with 28 months. Hey, JD, happy Labor Day weekend. I just wanted to send this out to the love of my life, Edgar Alvarez. I love you, my sweetheart. You're the best. Hashtag my Latino heat. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Mel. Tribal Chief with a $5 super chat. R.I.P. The Fiend, Eater of Worlds, best broadcast ever. Nothing but respect, JD. OTS family for life, pal. And please, women, mid-card title, never miss a show. Appreciate you, brother. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Ali with 13 months. Hey, JD, hopefully you are feeling better. My 2 matches I'm looking forward to is LA Knight and The Miz, KO Sammy, Judgment Day. Probably the same for me, Ali. Probably the same for me. Real Metalhead 21 with a new membership. Real Metalhead, thank you, brother. There's no new metal out as of late. The whole music scene is pretty dried up. Unless I'm not looking hard enough, man. I don't know. Neon Rose. Or Rose. With a new membership and then a $10 super chat. Had to finally get the VIP OTS for life, baby. Thanks for being the tribal chief for the IWC. Neon, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Jason, once again, thank you, brother. $100 super chat by Jason. What's up, man? I hope you're feeling better. Giving you some money for some hot beverages to soothe your throat. OTS for life. Man, those hot beverages are going to come in handy, brother. Let me tell you. Lauren with a $2 super chat. She says, feel better. I hope so, Lauren. I hope so. Miles Marable with a $9.99. Don't understand the LA Knight hate when he's just doing his job, which is to get over and sell merch. And he did it without the machine behind him. OTS for life. Hashtag get well, JD. Hashtag take some NyQuil. Yeah, I can't take NyQuil during the day. Otherwise, I'm not going to be here for you guys tonight. But thank you, Miles. I appreciate you, brother. And yes, LA Knight. I don't know who hates LA Knight. Why are people on LA Knight's case? I mean, if anything, LA Knight should be somebody that is looked at as somebody that should be cheered. How many people do we get that are doing things their own way and are still over? Mick Swagger with 23 months. Thank you, brother. You think Cena said that to Jimmy due to his legal troubles in the past? That's a good point, Mick. I didn't think of that. All I was thinking was, well, Jay walked out 3 weeks ago. The fuck is he talking about? He's had this on his mind for the past 3 years. You may be right. You may be right. J.A. with a 100 in his currency. I don't know what that translates to. I wish YouTube would tell me. JD, enjoy an ice cold beverage. Hope you get back to 100% soon. Not looking forward to much of the pay-per-views, but we'll be looking forward to the show reviews afterwards. Thank you, J.A. I appreciate you. I'll be here for Payback and tomorrow with All Out. I think Jesse and I will be together tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. I would much rather prefer him with me because I'm not 100%, and he can lend a lot to the show where I cannot give. Alex with a $15 super chat. JD, do you think Shinsuke Nakamura needs a manager or a spokesperson? I would like to see that, but I think these pre-filmed vignettes are doing really good. Drake Schneider with a $10 super chat. Hey, JD, this is actually my very first donation ever. Just wanted to say your channel has gotten me through so many hard times, especially recently. Keep it up, man. Love you, bro. Drake. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that very much, man. Visionary with a $5 super chat and a new membership. I honestly think LA Knight and The Miz are going to have the match of the night tonight. This feud is just getting better and better. Get well soon, JD. Thank you, Visionary. Appreciate you very much. Derek Anawai with a 20 months in the venue. 3 more months and I'll be at a 2-year member, Oos. How you doing? I'm okay. My cousin on my mom's side passed away at the age of 58. Sorry to hear that, brother. OTS families, thoughts and prayers with you, man. I'm not doing too well myself, man. I'm got a very bad head cold, flu, whatever you want to call it. Beyond the script, the $4.99. It's all right, JD. I just got here. Just got home from work. Hope you're feeling better, bro. Thank you, Beyond the Script. Not feeling all that hot right now, but I'm going to try my best to be okay for tonight. It's the most I could do. El Mulato with a $4.99. OTS is the best show in the IWC. Keep it up. JD, you are goated. By the way, Jey Uso is being advertised for Fastlane and Survivor Series. I wonder if Roman is advertised for Fastlane or Survivor Series. I'm sure he will be for Survivor Series. Michael Evans with a $5 super chat. Hot tea and honey, JD. Hot honey coats the throat and soothes it. Mom's remedy that always worked for me. Thank you, Michael. I got some really good honey in the house here. I may do that after the show is over. Keith Jackson with a $2 super chat. Hey, JD, you're the man. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you, brother. And Sue Childress with a $5 super chat. JD, old folks remedy was Dr. Pepper with lemon. Hope you feel better. OTS for life. That sounds great, Sue. Only thing is, I don't have Dr. Pepper in the house. I don't really have any soda-like beverages in the house because I haven't drank soda in forever. It's terrible for you. And if I did, I'd probably try it because what bad could it do, huh? I'm up for anything at this point. Jey Uso is being advertised for Wrestle Dream? No, he's not. No, he's not. Anyway, guys, I gave you all that I could, man. Hour and a half? Hey, man, that sounds good to me. Tonight, we'll be live. Payback. I'll set the stream up immediately for you guys so you guys can wait in the venue, as always. And tonight, we do our thing live for WWE Payback. I know it's not that big of a show. I know it's a show that doesn't have a lot of hype around it, but we'll be here because who else are you gonna watch? Anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. I appreciate you very much for hanging out with me on this Saturday afternoon. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other videos on the channel. As always, tons of content for you. And follow me on social media, man. At JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. And as always, I'll see you guys back tonight for WWE Payback. Right here on Off the Script. I'm going to take a nap, have some more tea and honey, and I'll see you guys tonight for Payback, man. See you guys later.
I scream into nothing just to feel something.